Hello again. It's me as always, funkdoc, and we're going to do a 3-player game in Italy with me against amitss1 and realrecord. And this is a kind of a middle of Italy config here. This is totally middle of Italy. We got the 2 northernmost regions and the southernmost region, the boot, out of the game. So we have ourselves a moderately priced Italy config for building. The 4 on 3-player, like the 4 is a lot less valuable in Italy because coal starts out so much more expensive. 3 compared to 1 on other maps. So I would definitely not pay any more than 5 for it, and I honestly might not even pay 5. amitss needs to put the 6 up for bid. Yeah, there we go. I'll bid 7 for it, easily, yeah. It might arguably even be worth more. amitss opts for the coal plant, giving me the 2nd building position with the 6. I'm very happy for that. See, I would take the 3 there myself. 10, 13. Those are expected. 29 and 37. With trash starting out so much cheaper in Italy, meaning at 5, that very much plays to my favor, especially with these other 2 fighting each other in coal right now. Notice how the coal for the 8 on the first turn, it costs more on Italy for the first turn compared to in a 3-player game compared to other maps on 4-player games. Ancona makes sense. Ancona makes a lot of sense because purple is not a very attractive region to build. I think the build for me is Bologna because I can go a lot of different ways for cheap cities there. I probably should have built 2, come to think of it. But if they leave Ravenna open, that'll definitely be my next city. Yeah, amitss does a solid build in response. I agree with that one. $37 under the deck, and in comes, I think, 44. No, 40. Okay. I will actually buy the 9 in this scenario. Set up my efficient combo. Because I expect realrecord will take the 10, especially since they already have coal stored. A little bit of coal stored on the 4. So the 10 makes sense for them. Yeah, there we go. And see, I want to be in the resources that no one else is using. That's what I'm going for here. And thus far, mission accomplished. 13 will be a really good fit for me next turn, too. 28 and 39. Those are what we have here. I expect someone will buy an oil plant next turn. So I will store 2 here just in case. And then I can take San Marino on the next turn to get me that little bit of that gateway into red there. Because realrecord's got a lot of open space. It's just that the space down in purple is all expensive as hell compared to the rest of this map. So I really want to try to force realrecord into purple. And San Marino will do that, I think. $40 out, 17 in. This makes me want to fight a little harder for the 13. I guess 13 doesn't really work well for amitss, but it's fantastic for me. And I'm very pleased to get it for this price, especially with 19 coming on. That's more great news for me. Because 19 is still not going to be a very attractive plant because trash is still not super cheap, and I'm using the 6. amitss should buy the 3. I think the 3 is the correct plant for them because they'll get to go bottom in the turn order still if they buy the 3, and they can burn up cheap oil to attack me a little bit. And I'm the player they need to attack right now, I think. So I think for amitss, the buy here would be the 3. 7. I could see that too if you're just planning not to build this turn. Or no, they have enough money to build to 4. It's just, I don't think you want to build to 4 with those plants in particular. And 26 in next. That's a big one. More incentive to store extra oil for me. Ooh. If they're really going to plan to build... I mean, I'll definitely buy the extra oil just in case. That might perhaps change amitss' plans if I store extra oil here. Okay, they do the cheap build. So I cost myself $1 storing that extra oil. I wasn't sure if they were really going to plan to build to 4 without storing extra on either of those plans. That's kind of a sketchy play to me. Wasn't expecting that. Even if the resource bias signaled it. At any rate, I am definitely crushing the efficiency battle right now. Like, this is a dreamy set of plants for this start with this crappy plant market. I am all about this life. 31 comes on. And amitss now is kind of in a tough position where, like, frankly, their plants suck to be powering 4, but if they put the 23 up for bid, then that's going to drop 26 for the rest of us. There's a very good chance of that happening, considering that we've had a lot of bad plants drop thus far, and we still get another middling plant here. 22 is all right, but it's a lot worse than 18 because of the turn order problems. Most notably, 20 and 21, those tend to be pretty important plants whenever they appear, especially 21 in these smaller games. And 18 has the turn order advantage over those, while 22 has the turn order disadvantage versus those plants. But I mean, these early markets that you're seeing here, this is exactly why I'm willing to pay a little more for the 6 on Italy. Like, I would willingly bid 8 for that plant at the start in a 3-player game. There we go. And now I have no reason to build because I get to go bottom in the turn order. amitss might fence me in here, though. Try to go into the west coast of Italy there. I might be eyeing a jump into Pescara, actually, because that controls a lot of purple there. And which will give me a lot of options come step 2. Yep, they're going to do it. amitss is forced to build a bad plan off the market. Absolutely. The right play to build a 5th city there. They arguably should have built even more if they could afford it, but I understand why they wouldn't, because they definitely don't want to run one of these both of those plants again in the next turn. 34 was the new plant drawn, so that's the one that will go under the deck. Yeah. If 26 stays on, that's a great plant for me to build over the 9. And it stays on. All right, this should be mine, unless people get too crazy for it. I have to calculate something. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can pay 37 for this and build to 6 cities. I might even be willing to pay and just build to 9 with it. But 37. 37 is my magic number here. If the bidding gets past 37, then we'll have decisions to make. I think Real Record, having just bought 23 recently, that's a good chunk of change for this point in the game. 23 itself is quite a bit to pay for a plant, so I think Real Record's going to be out of this auction soon. And it's going to be between me and amitss. 37, that's my last click where I'm guaranteed to build a 6. I'll go in past 40, though. And now Real Record's in a tricky spot. Not really a tricky spot. They can pass and I can get the 22, which is pretty good here. Alright, 14. I'm definitely going to replace the 6 in this case. I need to keep the 9 around to attack oil. 9's the one I have an extra resource stored on anyway. But yeah, I'm kind of stumbling into the Peace-Stein strategy here. $28 is next. 20, 31, 33. Okay. $45 was about the price I was willing to go on 26 here, because oil is not going to be super cheap, which hurts its value some compared to normal. 45 is like a normal-ish price I'd pay for it at this stage of the game. I mean, okay, sorry. I mean, there's no reason for me to buy extra oil, so... Let me think about this. Unfortunately, I can't break a stall this turn. What I will do for sure is I absolutely have to build Pescara. That's why I wanted to get into San Marino so bad, to set up to make sure the jump into this is not too expensive. I think I'll do this because I expect Real Record to build to 5 this turn. They need the money. And coal is getting kind of cheap. When I do it this way, I'll keep the turn order advantage. Yep, I expected that build. $38 to go under the deck. Problem here is, amitss obviously doesn't need any of these plants. Real Record doesn't really need 28 either, already having 23. The problem is, I don't want to buy 28 either. One thing I do like is with my builds. I have built in all 3 of the regions on this map in step 1. That means a lot for your expansion possibilities. I think what I'm going to do is pass on this stuff, because uranium restock never improves the whole game. It stays at 1 per turn, so 28 is going to get stupid expensive. 42 comes in. And I think my play is just break the stall this turn. That's what I do. Feel like that is my play. 29 is going to be a beauty for me if I can get that to stay on. And that's further reason for me to want to build here. So yeah. And I don't have a reason to go beyond 7 at this point. $21, okay, that's perfect. If 21 stays on, I'm great. Like, 21 or 29, like, I'd prefer 29, of course, but 21 is going to be great, too, because we need to start going in on coal. Oh, and 50 goes under. I didn't even see 50 was drawn. 50 and 15. 29, 31, 33, 42. There's a... Okay, thank you to Real Record for dropping out of the auction already. I want 21 so I could complete the efficiency strat here. That P-Stein stuff. God damn it. Well, these guys need to fight over this plant for sure now. Please bid. Yeah, okay, this plant is like perfect for Real Record. Coal is so friggin' cheap. This should go past 40 easily. This should go past 40. If 21 was going to cost close to... This should be more expensive than 26. Well... amitss wins, but at least amitss had to pay a lot for those 2 plants. I was going to say, please keep buying coal, Real Record. Like, please keep buying coal. Don't buy uranium this turn. If you don't have the money, just don't even buy uranium. Just use the 10 instead. You need to start attacking coal now. Okay, that tells me they have the money to build to 9, which is good news. Question is, how hard will I get blocked up in the cheaper north? The nice thing is I imagine amitss shouldn't be able to build too much after having paid that much for 25. Alright. I don't think I have a reason to buy any extra stuff, so I'll just get 2 coal here. Because I should drop to the bottom of the turn order this turn. One thing that makes me feel better about my position is that if you pay full market value for both 25 and 26, that's rarely a winning strategy. And the reason for that is you're paying a whole lot of money. In this case, it was close to 90 total for the 2 plants. And you only have a base capacity of 10, which is not ideal going into step 3. Because that would mean you need a 7 plant to reach 17 with a 557. So I need to mark off 24 and 25. 15, 19, 28, 29, 28, 29, 31, 33, 35. 35. That's the plant. That's the plant. There we go. This is good. So I still get some cheap stuff in the north, which is really nice. Wherever does amitss build? If amitss doesn't build, then I need to block them in red, is what I need to do next. Because that's clearly going to be my my main competitor right now, is amitss again, so I need to block them in red if they don't build much this turn. They're building into me, which is interesting. I would think they would... Okay, no, they're kind of blocking me a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. And so that means I can build one. And that will be Rimini. Definitely the one I want to build. And I can stay bottom in the turn order for next turn. The fact that they can only build to 10 here... I mean 8. The fact they can only build to 8 does encourage me. Ooh. In is 30. Okay. amitss can't buy a plant. And if they can't buy a plant, I think the play for me is definitely 29. Because I have the money to make use of it this turn, for sure. Wait, let me see, actually. How many plants are left in the deck? I think I count them all, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So step 3 auction... I think step 3 won't even come in the next turn, which is a sign that I should buy 29, because that is going to make me the most money. I can't build these plants off the market. Yeah, this is fine. What I need to do now is do a mixture of $3 coal plus all the oil. Yeah, this is what I do. Just attack both resources at once. Further go after amitss and do what I can to block amitss. Which means I build Ancona. I want to build Ancona for sure. Ancona's a must. Have to build that. Ancona and then cheap north stuff. While that's still available. That's fine. Yeah. Just do that. South is pretty badly blocked for amitss, which is good news. So they're going to have to spend a decent chunk of change to get to 10 cities here. Forcing him to go the expensive way around, which I'm fine with. $35 goes under. And I think that should be the last plant to go under the deck here. Yep, and step 3 is not coming yet. 20. This is actually bad. This is actually kind of bad here because I have to hope someone else clicks on this. Because of coal being cheap, it could be attractive to, like, real record. But nope. Nope. They didn't know the step 3 card was next, so 30 and 31 are going to be bought. This is actually bad for me. I was not ready for 20 to be drawn. That was the plan I was not ready for. I mean, I need the 20 still because I need like a 5 going into step 3. I need that base capacity. Oh shit, I need to think of how to do this. I don't know why mouse is acting up here. What I think we can do is... I can't believe I'm going to replace 21 this soon, but here we are. Shit, sorry, hold on. I need to get the damn coal on a 21 so I can demolish 21. Yes. And keep that coal. There we go. Well... Emmett's buying the 30. I disagree. Well, 30 is still pretty good because in Emmett's hands, the problem is they don't want to run 25 and 31 at the same time. Now, you may wonder why I replaced 21 instead of 22 in that situation. And the reason was that I wanted to stay at 11 cities and play the turn order game. All right. So I have base capacity problems now. The issue is we need the other 2 players to get... Basically, we need to make sure that Emmett's doesn't end the game on the next turn after this, which, given how much money they've spent on plants, and that the resources are going to be pretty expensive now, I feel like... that should be doable. If we can get step 3 to last 2 turns, I think I win this game. So 37 and 40 came on. Well, we know 40 is one solid plant for a 6. Okay. All right. Just glad I stored those extra resources last turn, let me tell you. Okay. I think I have to do this. Because this will incentivize the other players to build above me. Like, if I didn't store extra coal on the 20, that might inspire one or both of these people to stay below me in the turn order so they could buy out coal. They could threaten a coal buyout on me on the following turn, and thus I wouldn't be able to afford to run the 20 in this turn. It's painful paying that much for coal now, but it was not going to get that much cheaper in the next turn either. Also, next turn I can tell you I'm not actually going to run the 20. Unless the game ends, in which case I just lose. Yeah, Real Record could be a player to watch out for. Hey, I still get cheap Parma. That's cool. Whenever I build next, I'm guaranteed step 2 spot in Parma. So that's good. I do think amitss is probably behind in this game. I think they seem to be the poorest player at the moment, like money-wise. And I, of course, have no reason to build. So my 21 buy ended up being kind of sketchy in that I replaced it really quickly. I thought maybe it would be an endgame plant. I didn't know how the market was going to look. Like, the market easily could have stalled after 21, for sure. 50 comes in. 38 is the only plant that can power 7. That will necessitate that I stay low in the turn order. So in this situation, I think amitss should pass on plants, ultimately. Yes, that's a correct play. And thus, in this situation, I think 39 is slightly better than 40. It's $1 cheaper, and the resources are going to be cheaper over the next couple turns. So let's see, it's like 39 plus 16 for the resources for 2 turns is 55. It's 55. Whereas 40 would be 40 plus 9 plus... Yeah, 40 would be slightly more, plus higher number, too. In any case, I'm not going to build this turn. Yeah, I think this is 39. And I have to hope the 7 appears for me next turn. Which, as long as I stay bottom and there is a next turn, that should happen. Yeah. Yeah, what I have to do now is not build again this turn, even though that's scary that I could potentially lose out in more cheap cities. I need to think about this, because I can build. I think amitss needs to reach 16 so real record doesn't end the game. Although them storing extra resources means real record might do it. Let's make it a little harder for record, at least. A little bit harder. Please build... Can you not build to 6? Yeah, please build to 16. Thank you. Thank you. I need to make the builds more expensive for record to try to discourage them from ending the game this turn. Problem here is this. Record can get to 18 next turn with just a 6 plant, whereas amitss and I will both need to fight over the one possible 7 plant in the game. Luckily, turn order will give me an edge to have a chance at that plant. Because what happens is if real record doesn't want to end the game, they can just opt not to build, or build just one more city and go below amitss in the turn order for next turn. $34 came and 39, so we have 38, which is one of the 3 remaining plants here. man. All right. Well, I get bottom in the turn order now, so 14 was the correct number for me to build to. I knew that amitss would have to reach 16 in order to prevent record from ending the game. So thus, since I'm bottom, it actually, I think, behooves me. Hold on. Let me see if this is right, because 6 plus 4, 10 is 105, 14 is 129. So I profit. So I do very, very slightly profit from running the 20 here, since I'm bottom. So yeah, run the 20. Yeah, I even make a little extra money out of it this way. Okay, sure. God damn it, there's 38. Well. And the nice thing is, trash is actually safe for... And like, amitss is under a lot of pressure to win the plant. Because if someone else gets it, they can buy out trash on for the 30. Okay, so I need to calculate. So I go 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 coal, 1 uranium. And 1, 2, 3 trash. Plus 4 cities. What are my cheapest 4 cities left? And I think my cheapest cities left, looking for blue, are... It's definitely got to be these. 1, 2, 3... 4. So 65. I can pay 65 for this plant. Like, real record is obviously not going to need the 38. But yeah, 65. 65 is my magic number. Unfortunately, if I have to pay close to 65, then I think real record will win. amitss drops. All right, so I think I'm guaranteed to finish ahead of amitss then. So here's what I'm thinking. If real record bids any more on this, I'll give it to them. Because I think what this tells me is that I know there's no more 7 plant left in the game. This tells me I have the money advantage over amitss if they dropped out of the auction now. And I don't think real record will be able to get to 18 if they buy this plant. Because they're going to have a lot... Well, I mean, they would replace the 24, I'd assume, but still, that's, you know... A lot of trash to be buying. So yeah, one way or another, I'm guaranteed to finish ahead of amitss in this game now. Okay, now, okay, because 38 came, so 42 and 35 are the last plants left. Those are pretty irrelevant. amitss is not going to touch one of those plants. Okay. I don't think record has 18 in them for this. We'll see if this comes back to bite me in the ass, though. Now the plant to put up for bid here has to be 32. So the question is... Okay. So I pay 11 for resources for this. No, 40. Hold on, with 40. I pay 7. So I pay 47. So 40, if I just pass this plan and take 40 at cost... 40 at cost would cost me a total of 47 because I need 2 oil on this thing, which cost me 7. I'd have to pay 47 total for plant plus resources. With the 32, it'd be a lot less for the plant, but 1 extra oil. 7 cost resources. 1, 2, 3. So 32 plus 11 is 43. Hopefully, amitss doesn't realize the last plant left isn't good. Yep, there we go. Got it by 40, bruh. So I definitely won out on that exchange with them. So now my only goal at this point is just to hope that Real Record doesn't get to 18. If my read on their money was correct, I don't think they can, after paying that much for the 38 plus the trash. What cities does Real Record have left? Real Record gets, let's see, 3 cheap cities in yellow. And then from there, Brincy. They do get Brincy, which is really cheap. So there's no benefit to me building in Roma here. That just cost me more money. So I think... Hold on, let me do this. That leaves me with 60, whereas leaves me with 59. Oh, this is actually a little cheaper to do it this way. Hold on. Calculate. 1, 2, 3 leaves me with 59. Whereas I could build here in this cheap one, Modena. So 1, 2, 3 leaves me with less. 1, 2, 3 leaves me with 60. Okay, that's the cheapest route for me. God damn it, he actually had 18 in him. Good win to Real Record. Good stuff. I really did not think Real Record was in this game a lot of the way. I felt amitss could be in shaky position because of the... Well, here's the problem. So Real Record was winning on money this time. I think because of me getting like 21 then 29 and replacing both. I got 21 and 29 pretty late and replaced both of those plants. I'm not so sure about that. All right, very good win to Real Record. Very good win. Again, I didn't see you coming. I did not see them as a threat to win this. But, yeah, they got the money lead here. I guess it was just the 20... yeah, the whole 21 and 29 thing was not so good. Plus, the problem was 20 coming in that auction. It was weird, like, because I got the 20, which was an endgame plant, but then everybody else got bigger plants, 30 and 31. When Real Record ended up with the 31 instead of the 30, that's when I thought that they might have a shot to win. And now we get a 4-player game with the same 3 players from the last game, me, amitss1, and Real Record, plus our old pal teokop to make it a 4-player game, this time on USA. USA! Alright, so we can take the Italian flag off, put the USA flag on, and restart our plant tracker. And you'll get a 2-for-1 deal in this video. This is definitely going to be my last game tonight. I'll bid 8 for the 4, see if anyone pays 9. So again, with 4-player, the 4 becomes quite a bit more valuable than in a 3-player game. I will gladly take the 4 for 8 here. Honestly, if it's available to me, I would actually go for Billings as a single build, believe it or not. It's one of the safest builds on the board. I get a lot of open land available for step 2 as a backup in the southwest. And there's no other way to break into the southwest besides through the northwest. So it would be extremely safe for me. Hard for anyone else to get in there early. 11 in the game. Ouch. This, and no, 20. Oh, 21 goes under the deck. That's huge. So what this tells me is I want to angle for bottom in the turn order, without a doubt. Alright. So let's see where the first player builds. The problem here is the way this map is set up. Minneapolis. Okay, Chicago, Minneapolis. Okay, that tells me I definitely want to go Billings now. Or Washington, D.C., actually. I feel like it's too easy to get fenced in. Although, if I build Washington, then I don't think anyone else will want to build near us necessarily. No, I'd rather go Billings. I get 2 plus because I do get 2 really cheap cities from here. Someone else could theoretically build both of the twins, but the problem there is your remaining cities from there are not going to be good. You just get so much expensive stuff after that, and you're just cornering yourself further in the map, and in the expensive corner, too. Like, the player with the 8 should not build underneath me here. They might, but I don't think they should. And even if they do, I still have some options. You know, I can still go into, like, Fargo, for example, which should be affordable on turn 2. In which, you know, Fargo that's an important start to expanding eastward too. So that'll be nice for me to get if I have to take that. I'd rather not take that, and instead I just, you know, go for the twins if possible. We'll have to see what the players do here. Interesting situation. I think teokop should build Washington, D.C. That seems like clearly the best build left on the board to me. The problem is the player who builds last, I worry. I worry that they might build below me. Personally, I'd rather like try to fight in like the Midwest and the East. Build somewhere in the middle there. Like if they go Washington, I'd go Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Welp. Hey, at least they only built one of the twins. That's good. That's good. That's actually really good for me because I can just take the other twin now. And then I can still, I still have the Santa Fe option if needed. I would much, much rather build Billings and have an opponent build in one of the twins the other way around. The problem is you gave Real Record so much space. Like, I really, really hope amitss goes to fight them in the East because that's too much space to give up. But yeah, 21 going under the deck is a huge deal. It's just, I wanted to go bottom in the turn order because I wanted to see if other players might get desperate and buy a plant after they missed out on the 10 and the 11 shows up. 10 should get a good amount of bidding here. I'm not going to want it, though. Like, I will bow out of this auction because of my turn position. Like, I'm the only player who can buy a plant without giving someone else a drop. So I don't need to bid on the 10. These other players are the ones who need to fight for the 10. It should go for, it should go for, 13 is a pretty fair price. I had thought, teokop is now in a rough spot. Oh, yeah, pass. Give me that 13. Yes. This is what we need, kids. And 14 comes in. All right. This tells me definitely store extra coal now. I had debated whether or not I wanted to store extra coal this turn because next turn, if the 16 was going to be on, I would want to get the 16 and try to build and make some money with the 16 plus the 13 combo. That's one of those pretty good early market stall combos. But now for this turn, definitely just want to buy 2 more coal while it's still real cheap. Definitely. And I have to build Denver here. teokop absolutely should have built both twins if they were going to build in there. So I'm very glad they left Denver open. I will be happy to punish that mistake of theirs. Actually, no, I understand why it's not a total mistake because they wanted to go below amitss in the turn order for the turn 2 market. The nice thing is, I feel like amitss should have an incentive to jump into the East at some point. Pittsburgh and Buffalo are both options for them. And yeah, I forced teokop to go Omaha, which is good. So amitss is going to be fenced in the up north, so they really need to look for an opportunity to jump east. Pittsburgh will be the next build for Real Record, and they will get to build before amitss next, but then amitss should jump into Buffalo at the first opportunity, I think. $21 and now $46 will be going under the deck. Obviously, I don't need any of this garbage. Like, no one should buy a plant this turn. Because if nobody buys a plant, then 6 will be the lowest numbered plant. The 6 will be removed. And yeah. So that will move the market forward next turn. 50 comes in, so that's going to go into the deck. 21 being out of the game is going to make 25 and 26 more valuable. Even the 20 will be a little more valuable, although I'm not sure I'd still be so hot for it, necessarily. I don't want to store extra coal this turn. Plus, it barely even makes a profit for me if I were to buy 2 coal at 5 and run it on the 4 versus just running the 13. I don't think I want to take Santa Fe. That'll be a little too greedy, because then teokop would be able to jump into Seattle, which I do not want. My next city, I think, has to be Seattle. That'll force teokop to go into the expensive southwest cities. And Amitz builds Fargo. I would have thought to go into Pittsburgh. I imagine they had to have been able to afford Pittsburgh, and I think that's going to open up a lot more for them. Given that 16 at least should stay on next turn, and 16 plus 13 will be good for me, I'll definitely be able to build the 4 cities next turn. I think it behooves me to build Seattle now, since teokop could jump into their next turn. Because I will gladly take the 16. I'd easily rather have the 16 than the 20 right now. Because 16's a much better fit with the amount of money and cities I have, plus the green plant that I have. So hopefully nobody bids me up on 16. I'll be glad to take it here. Because coal is going to get expensive in a hurry. Hey, there's actually a bid for it. This may seem stupid, but I'll put another bid for it. Okay, I was going to say 22 comes on. See, the thing about 16 is the low number it has for this point in the game. I want to set myself up for turn order here. Someone 20 needs to get bid, please, with coal this cheap. Like, please bid on the 20. There's a bid. Because Real Record has a lot of cheap cities behind them. They've been making a lot of money from the 8. So like Real Record should I would expect a Real Record to win this plant. Oh, they give up the 20. Okay. Amitz is in kind of an awkward spot. They might be in the situation where they can only afford to build the 4 cities this turn and they can't quite afford 5. In that situation, then, well, they have to jump east. I still think Amitz should jump east. You don't want to give Real Record too much open space. Although, now with plants looking this awful for them, that's less of a problem. I really would have expected a Real Record to fight a little harder for the 20, since they're at the bottom of the turn order. They have a bunch of cheap cities, and they can grab they can grab the cheapest coal. I thought they might have been willing to pay closer to 30 for the 20 there, rather than 25. I expect them to buy the 11 here. The 11, I think, will be the best buy for them because, again, it makes a profit even if you run it for 1 turn. Because you spend 11 for the plant plus 8 for the uranium, and you make a little over $20 powering 2 more cities. So 11 makes a profit. So again, 11 makes a profit even if you only use it 1 turn. This is not true of the 17, which is why 17 is so much worse. 17 is close to the worst plant in the game overall. Although, nothing touches 14 for that, but 17 comes the closest, I think. There's not a lot of oil being used in the game right now. 23 comes on. Right, 9, 22, 23, 28, 34, 36. Yeah, I don't need to buy extra oil. There's just not a lot of oil that's going to be in use right now. Teokop is still like way behind on plants here. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Real Record makes the best builds there. That does a lot to protect their land, although... see what teokop does. Teokop could jump into Duluth, possibly. That would be, well... The thing is, Dolith doesn't really do a whole lot. And then there goes Santa Fe. So that's the obvious build, that's the safe build, and definitely the correct build for them, because I might have... Well, no, I couldn't have afforded Santa Fe. Well, no, I definitely could have afforded. Yeah, I might have gone Santa Fe if they didn't. I'd rather go Boise than Portland here, because Boise gives me a route into the southwest to potentially chase teokop. I'm really surprised teokop did not build in brown. That shocks me. It's a decision that's really going to end up hurting them a lot, I think. And we know 44 will be the next plant under the deck because that's the highest numbered plant. Yes, I will buy 22, please. I'm gonna end up in kind of a quasi Peastein strategy here, if I get this. This could get some bidding though, because I mean 23 is terrible, and that's the next plant showing. 21 went under the deck, so there's no chance of that dropping. 20 is already in play. So like 20 and 21 would be like the big surprises that would normally drop in front of 23, but that's not going to happen now. The best plant, like the strongest plant that could come after this would be 18. And that's not a huge deal. All right. Let me think about this. And let's say... So actually... Let me think about something here. I need to think. No, I can't quite afford to build out this turn. This is tricky. This is a tricky spot here. Will someone else bid again on this? Okay. teokop bids. I'll let them have it here. Pass this stuff. It's getting kind of late in the it's getting a little late in the game for 22, so 22 would not be worth more than 25 to me at this stage. Because again, we've gone through a good chunk of the bad plants already. I mean, I'll definitely have to stall for one more turn because I won't quite have the money to buy 2 oil and build to 7 this turn. So that's my problem. Yep, teokop makes a very reasonable buy there. Just take all the $4 stuff. I like that play. No reason for me to buy extra oil again because I should drop below teokop in the turn order on this turn. 16 being my top number. Oh no, teokop doesn't build. Well, this means then that they won't have a lot of extra space to buy oil next turn. Yeah, I can't quite build to 7. Okay. Yeah, amitss not being able to... Okay, so amitss does get to 5 at least, which helps their cause with the 20 a little bit, but they don't have extra coal stored on the 20, which is not good. Like, I'm making more money per turn right now than amitss is. That's the downside to the 20. You do not want the market to stall when you have the 20 going. 24 will actually be really good. 23 again will not be desirable with 11 in the game. Okay, now... Ooh, does teokop... So them buying extra resources last turn was kind of a mistake because it forced them to replace the 9 instead of the 5. That's the problem. So when you're doing extra resource buys, you need to think, will I replace one of these plants next turn? Because you don't want to force yourself into any awkward spots with the resources. I'm paying $9 this turn to power 4 cities, whereas Emmets had to pay, like, I think 19 or 20, something like that, to power 5, so... Stay the course. Just stay the course. Especially now, I'm gonna go below teokop in the turn order, which is cool. I'll be the bottom player in terms of using oil now, which will make things a little cheaper for me. There's Emmets with the big East Coast jump that I was expecting. Yeah. Okay, so that's part of why I did not build to break the stall myself. Emmets was under a lot of pressure to break the stall because, again, when you have the 20 plant, a stall is not in your favor. So I'll be second to build in step 2, and Real Record, who is the first player to build, they need to buy a plant next turn, could potentially pay a lot of money for it. And they haven't been making a lot of money during the stall because of having to run the 8 the whole time. Alright, 38. 39 in 29. 39, 29. 37. We got ourselves a plant to fight over here. Real Record is the one who needs this plant. Well, this turn, everybody gets a 4 plant. I will pass on this next plant, I think. So, there's a very low chance 34 will actually come onto the market, but we could get a 6 plant to come on. And a 6 plant would fit fairly well with me. 19's going to stick around a while for Teo. So now, though, with uranium coming into the game at 2 per turn, now 28's decent. Teo has to buy this. I think you just have to put 29 up for bid. Because, let's see, what are the chances that market stalls now? Not great, because, like, plants will still get bought this turn. So we know that 42 will be the next plant to go under the deck because that's come and there's nothing else left that's higher. Do I bid on 29? And I think the answer to that should be yes. Again, committing to efficiency here. $26 going for 40 I think is reasonable here because there will be other plants out there to attack oil. It actually came. Okay, at least it came when they can bid on it. There were literally only 2 other plants that could have come in the deck. What? Wow. Okay, that gets Real Record back into the game in a big way. Wow. teokop put 29 for bid. Then I bid, they passed. And they just passed on plants altogether. Was that a misclick? That had to have been a misclick, right? That had to have been a misclick. Alright. Anyway. Time to drive the shit out of oil and coal. Yeah. That might have been the move that puts Real Record into the game. Okay. I'm purple. Yeah. I definitely got to build Cheyenne. Take that while it's cheap. Salt Lake. There we go. Get myself the most cheap land possible. This is why I like building in the West. It gives me options for step 2. And as long as I stay around this number of cities, like 9, 10-ish, then I'll be in good shape to expand somewhere else in step 3. I expected teokop to get Portland. I'd rather get more of the southwest cities in front of them, though. Alright. Oh, 12 came in. I didn't see 12. Alright. Ooh, so amitss couldn't build to 10. That makes me feel a little better. The problem is, in terms of money, we're actually very similar, amitss and me. And I guess because they got more of the cheap East Coast cities, that's what's benefiting them right now. With them not having coal stored, though, there's going to be problems for the 20. 42 under, 27 in, and I have no reason to bid for 27 here. Why? 24? Why? Why would 19 is in the game? What the hell? I mean, there's a low chance it'll drop anything else big, which it didn't. But still, my God. We haven't seen 30, 31, or 32 at all. I kind of get get why amitss bought the 24, but to me, that signals that they're not going to win the game. Like, if you have 2 5 plants, you should be able to just use those, especially when you paid decent money for the 20 early in the game when it was awkward in terms of making money, and then paid 40 for the 26. You should not need to buy a 4 plant along with those to keep yourself safe and make money, but that's the situation amitss is in now. Can teokop just buy 28 already? I don't get what teokop's going for here. There we go. Okay, so teokop loses the resource on the 5 and just gives it up, which I think is, at this point, the correct play. Yeah. Alright. I will buy nothing here. Let's see if anyone else wants to build above me. We have a little ways to go before step 3 yet. Oh, 17 came. I didn't see 17. Okay, so we're a little less of a ways to go before step 3. Real Record needs to build in the cheap east, although they might end up building Duluth and Fargo to block me. Me and teokop, we are both edging in on that territory. Okay. At this point, I think I'm the one who's under pressure to move the market. So I have to do that. It gives me a foothold into the Midwest, which is important. $32 comes in. 32, that's a plant I could use. So then, in retrospect, I should have stored extra resources then. Although I could not have stored a lot extra and still made this build. Okay. Do I really need Portland yet? I don't think so. What the hell, I'll take it though. Why not? Not looking the greatest for me in this game right now, but... Alright, 32, I get very lucky with 32 staying on. There was literally only one plant that could have come to make it stay on. And I need this plant. Need this thing. I think Real Record shouldn't bid on the 32, and actually I will... I'll bid a little more on this. Yeah, like, Real Record's the one who could really use this plant. Although having coal stored in the 8 makes things kind of awkward for them. And replacing the 16 is a no-brainer. Nice thing is, amitss is the only other player with oil in the game, so oil won't be too bad for me. And 29 will continue to be exclusively a coal plant. Coal's starting to get a little cheap for the 20 there. I don't like that. We do get to step 3 on the next turn. Okay. Well, that's not great for me. I don't like Real Record's 28 buy. I think that actually hurts them. Real Record just needs to build this turn and get rid of that coal on the 8th, though. For sure. All right. 46 and 40 can come. Those plants can potentially come, so... yeah. I think this is the play for me, though. In retrospect, 32 might have been a mistake for me, I guess. Well, the problem is, we're definitely heading toward a game that's going to last 2 turns in step 3 at most. And I would definitely not be able to... I wouldn't be able to get to 18 cities in 2 turns. This gives me a chance at it. There's no coal plants in the market right now, so it's kind of tricky for Real Record. Like, yeah, they kind of... I think they just have to burn that coal sitting on the 8th, though. Teokop's just dead. Like, deader than dead. That turn, like, I wonder if that was a misclick where... When I bid them on the 29, they just passed on the 34. They didn't buy any plants at all that turn, when they could have used, at the very minimum, a 4 plant. They easily could have used that. $39's not even as great as usual here. It's okay for me, but eh. Ooh. Ooh. amitss had to make a decent-sized jump there. Okay. That's encouraging, at least. Like, a lot of the West got blocked for them, so that's good. So I'm going to be looking at an 18 finish. The problem is, I do wonder... amitss might have the edge on me for money, though. Oh, 21. Great to see ya. Not. I'll go for 39 just because none of these other plants will even make me more money. I don't really like 35 because it's driving up my own resource with 32. So I have to do this. Plus it opens things up for me next turn and my chances to get to 18. Please bid up 36 so amitss can't just end the game now. There we go. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see right here. $36 and $50. God damn it. I think that looks like game over then. I mean, at least it wasn't 38, and 38 actually came here. Wow. This is interesting now. Okay, amitss builds over the 20. All right, that's a good idea. I can't believe teokop is all green plants at this point. That's really rare to see this late in the game. Now here's the deal. All right. Real record is no reason to max out uranium because if the game is a next turn, then 28 is just going to get replaced. So I don't need to worry about this. I'm going to try to signal like I can end the game because I imagine as efficient as I've been running, other players I think would be worried I could end the game at 16. amitss might end the game now. That's my concern. amitss and I are actually both in the same position, too, of only needing a 6 plant to get to 18 if there is a next turn. Plus, I'm guaranteed to go below amitss in the turn order, which is really nice. And teokop, too. They both have higher numbered plants than me, and we're all at 13 right now, even if amitss doesn't build. Yes. Okay, so here's the deal. We have 38, 42, and 40. Out of all those plants, though. Although, with the next turn being the last turn. Yeah, I have no reason to build now. No reason to build, no reason to fire 32. And the nice thing is some cities are still open. I can still get Minneapolis and Minneapolis, Omaha, Chicago. I won't get cheap St. Louis or Knoxville, but I can still get other stuff in that area. Okay. Well, there's 44. Unfortunately, that had to come now. Hard pass for me, already going up past 60. The weird thing is none of the rest of us really need 38. I think Real Record's going to end up winning this, though. Emmy's going to build over 26 now. And that gets them to 18. They're at least going to have to pay a lot to get to 18. Which makes me feel good. Because I can safely buy 42 here. I think I'll do this. I'm going to bid in 42, and here's why. Because here's my thinking. We know that 40 is the last 6 plant remaining in the game. We know this. Therefore, this could get a big bidding war. Oh, real record is not as rich as I thought. They just gave... Oh, wow. Okay. So it's just between... Okay, so if I can get to 18, then I win. Unfortunately, they actually kept 28 another turn, so I kind of lost out on the uranium exchange. Whatever, though. I'm not going to make it to 18, though. Unfortunately, so amitss might still win. I can block Omaha for them, though. That's good, at least. And teokop can build, like, LA and San Francisco or something. Yep, and St. Louis, yeah. Correct builds there. My builds are actually quite expensive now, though. That's the problem. Okay, so I'm already there. I need to think. We know we need this. We know we need Chicago. Where does amitss have left to build? Amitss has Buffalo available, potentially. Assuming teokop doesn't build there. And teokop I don't think will build Buffalo. They'd rather build into like LA and shit. So... I mean, I can get to 17 at the very least. It's hard to believe that, you know, amitss paid a lot for those 20 plants and replaced both of them with 7s. Can they really get to 18 doing that? The problem is I just barely make it to 17, so... I'm trying to decide where I'd rather build. All right. Okay, I'll block Omaha for amitss. Take away one of their cheaper cities. And then... this is either Cincinnati or Phoenix. And I don't think Phoenix would be the most attractive for them. Because they could just do like Seattle, Portland as an option. So I think I just go with Cincinnati here. Yeah. There goes the Southwest builds. Blocking Omaha is good for me, though. If amitss even makes it to 17, they win, though. That's the problem here. Did my best to prevent that. Yeah, they still win, I think. The margin of error for me to win this is almost none. If I lose this because I didn't buy a 5 plant, I'm going to be tight. Beat me by $2. What a finish. So, I guess lesson learned is do your math and see if you can actually get to 18 before you buy your plant for 18. Because I would have won that if I bought a cheaper plant. Dang. I felt like I played this game pretty well throughout. Just I kind of botched the finish a little bit. 39 was definitely the right play for me. The problem, so 32. 32 was correct for me, for sure. And then just 42 was the mistake. All right, well, what a couple friggin' games there. I need to work on my endgame, I guess, because I just kind of went for a 6 plant without thinking, just assuming I could get to 18 when I could barely get to 17. God damn it. God damn. Wow. What a game. Yeah, lesson learned. Lesson learned. Think of the number of cities you can get first, then get the cheapest plant to get there. I would have won that if I just shot for 17. Oh well, see you later.